Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Retail Archaeology. Today we're going to be taking a look at Paradise Valley Mall in Phoenix, Arizona. Now the mall is named Paradise Valley Mall, but it's actually 1 mile outside of Paradise Valley proper. This is the mall that I've gotten a lot of requests to take a look at from a lot of viewers, and it's also one that I haven't been to in over 20 years. First, let's take a look at the map real quick, and then we'll get started with a tour of the outside of the mall. This should give you a general idea of the layout and the size. This mall opened in 1978 originally and was developed by Westcor. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I haven't been to this mall since I was a little kid, but one of the first things I did remember were these big, weird cube structures above all the entryways, and that design carries over into the roof inside the mall, which we'll see later on. Now here we're taking a look at right outside the food court, and we can see the Coca-Cola branded carousel that was added in the 90s. And there's also this interesting statue in this planter here. I couldn't find a plaque or anything, so I'm not sure what that's about or who the artist is, but that was kind of interesting. It seems like it's been here for a while. Something else that was interesting were these stained glass windows that go into the food court, and we'll see the other side of those later on in the video when we take a look at the food court. But I really did like a lot of the architecture on the outside of this mall. Now here's the Macy's, one of the 5 anchors that this mall has. And all of the anchor stores are actually open right now. Now one of the anchors is actually a Costco, and it's not attached to the mall, but they do call it an anchor. This Macy's entryway was pretty gaudy with this like shiny chrome on all of the doors and everything. And I wanted to take a look inside and see how the Macy's was doing, because I've heard some Macy's stores are having trouble. And I was surprised to find it was fairly empty in here, and it looked really old school in here still. It had this like billiards green pool table carpet that was really, really old looking, but kind of cool. I liked it even though it was kind of ugly. Now this building we're looking at here is the Costco. I didn't really film much footage of that because Costco's aren't all that interesting, but what was kind of interesting and kind of sad is with this Costco being here, it kind of blocks off this mall entry here, which is really just kind of a nice, quiet, shady area. I actually liked this quite a bit. And it doesn't seem like it gets a lot of use because the Costco's right there kind of blocking it off. This mall does have a few things in common with Metro Center Mall, which is another mall I've looked at in a couple of videos. One of those things being that it was developed by Westcor in the 70s, just like Metro Center, and it also kind of features the circular street system around the mall, and that was inspired by Metro Center as well. Here's a closer look at the Costco there real quick, and then you can see what I was talking about here. There's this really interesting entryway into the mall right here with this kind of really weird architectural design that I don't know how long it's been like this, but it looks very 90s to me. Really cool looking, and I'm really happy that I got a chance to see it. It's just kind of sad that I don't think anybody else notices it anymore because of the big stupid Costco right there. That is really interesting looking and just screams 90s gaudiness. And here we have the Sears, and they have that "We sell all major appliances" banner because the jcpenney's here has that "We now sell appliances" banner. So they've got the competing banners that I see in a lot of jcpenney's and Sears that are anchors in the same mall. And honestly, the outside of this Sears building is probably the most boring part architecturally of this mall. Something else this mall has in common with Metro Center Mall is some history with the movie Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Many people know that the mall scenes that are in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure were all filmed inside Metro Center Mall. Well, during the filming of that movie, they also filmed a bunch of exterior footage of Paradise Valley Mall, and they plan to use the exterior footage as the outside of the San Dimas Mall in the movie. But all of that footage was cut, and so all you really see in the movie is Metro Center Mall. But it is kind of interesting to know that Paradise Valley Mall also does have some history with that really cool old 80s movie. They were doing a blood drive here the day that I was here, but this seems like a terrible mall to do a blood drive at. It's not very busy, which we'll see in the interior footage here in a minute or two. Here's one of those interesting cube structures that are over the entryway again, which again, like I said, these just kind of always stuck out to me even as a kid. They're just kind of weird. I don't know what they're supposed to represent. But for the most part, the outside of the mall looks pretty good. Most of the plants are still green. There's lots of great 80s and 90s architectural aesthetics going on out here. So I was really glad that I got a chance to document all this. So many palm trees in malls in the Phoenix area. Like I said, this was filmed on a Saturday afternoon, so it was really hot outside on a Saturday afternoon during the summer in Phoenix, so I was happy to go inside. And here we see the inside of the mall, and one of the things I noticed was lots of neon. I love that neon Chompy sign, and there's lots of other storefronts that have some old school looking neon as well. Something you'll start to notice pretty quick about Paradise Valley Mall is that for a Saturday afternoon, it is not very busy. I don't think busy enough at all to sustain a mall this size, and now I understand why a lot of viewers were asking me to come here and take a look at Paradise Valley Mall. Over there you'll see the Dillards, one of the 5 anchor stores that this mall has, and all 5 of its anchors are still currently open. Now we'll take a look at the map real quick in case you skipped the first part of the video and went right to the interior tour of the mall, so you can get an idea of the size and scope of this mall. It's a fairly decent sized mall at a little over 1.1 million square feet. Over to the left there was a virtual reality experience place. Didn't seem very busy though. Interesting idea for inside a mall though. It'll be interesting to see how it does. The mall itself is only a single story, but then each of the anchor buildings, excluding the Costco, are 2 stories. Something else I discovered while filming here is this mall is very popular with mall walkers. This World Market store that was there that was pretty big seemed to be one of the busier things in the mall. You can see as we get a little further in here though, we start to see some vacant stores and not a lot of shoppers for a Saturday afternoon. You can see that design in the ceiling, so I love the ceilings in this mall. That place to the right was one of those horrible puppy mills that sells mixed breed dogs for a fortune. Hopefully that won't last too much longer. I can't stand those places. I was wondering what this store was. That was really cool looking and kind of old school looking to me, the checker print and dice print. There's a few more empty storefronts. Something else that was kind of unfortunate was all of the empty storefronts, for the most part, had those black curtains, so you couldn't see what was inside them or try and make out what was inside. So all I could really do was videotape the exterior of the closed stores. I really liked this one a lot, the checker print and domino print store. Be interested to know what that is. If you know what that was, let me know down in the comments below. This mall has lots of really cool skylights too. Here's one of them, and this is one of the lesser impressive skylights in this mall. The much more impressive skylights are located in front of each of the anchor stores. I love the architecture here, and this is something that I do remember from my childhood. That mixed with the mint green paint that's above puts off an interesting vibe. A lot of aesthetic feeling going on in here. But again, as you can see, super dead for a Saturday afternoon. This is not good for a mall this size. And that's why I've titled this video Trouble in Paradise, because I'm interested to see how this mall kind of transforms over time, because I can already see here the symptoms of a dying mall. Increased vacancy rates, some of the weirder stores that are in here, which we'll see later on in the video, and like I said, just hardly any foot traffic on a Saturday afternoon in Phoenix, where it's very hot and you would expect people to be flocking to an air-conditioned mall. This Glow Golf place is one of the weirder things that I was talking about. Now, while I was here, my wife and daughter actually did play a round of golf in there, and they said it was pretty fun. I often get asked if we spend money in the dead malls that we go to, and yeah, we do. That was one of the ways we spent money at this mall. And here again, you can see that interesting like square X design in the roof, and also just not a lot of foot traffic. Most of the foot traffic seem to be mall walkers. Like I said, very, very popular with the mall walkers. Fake Dippin' Dots machines, those seem to be becoming a fixture at dead malls. Now, this mall does still have a lot of the standard mall stores. We've got a Zoomies here next to a Vans. And then to the right here, there's a Champs Sports next to a Bath & Body Works. But I'm glad that I came and filmed this mall when I did, because it is pretty clear that it's starting to show signs of struggling, and it'll be really interesting to come back 6 months from now and see how it's doing and what it looks like, and a year from now to see how it's doing and see what it looks like. Because like I mentioned, you can see here, there's just not a lot of people for a Saturday afternoon in the summer in Phoenix, and a lot of the people that were here seem to be mall walkers just out getting some exercise and escaping the Phoenix heat. They had all these mall walker mile marker things all over the mall too, which was pretty interesting. Now here's the food court, and it's mostly occupied as far as stores go, but you can see it's not occupied as far as diners go. But my god, the aesthetics in here are just so 90s. I love that freestanding Wetzel pretzels with the neon signage. But no problems here finding a table in the food court on a Saturday afternoon, and that's not good for a mall. Lots of empty tables and seats when there should be lots of people eating lunch. You can see off in the distance there those stained glass windows. There was also a freestanding Dairy Queen Orange Julius there, but I am more of a fan of Wetzel pretzels. They actually had the TV still on in this food court too. And we can see the Coca-Cola carousel there in the background, and a closer look at those stained glass windows. down in the food court seating area there was this really boring fountain, and I found it kind of interesting because it was just there babbling by itself, and it was just an interesting scene here. Paradise Valley Mall does have an arcade as well, but it's not my favorite kind of arcade. Most of the games in here are of the skill crane or win a prize variety, which I'm not a huge fan of. There was an air hockey table here in the middle, which was kind of cool. And then over on this side there was a few actual arcade games. And everything ran on tokens. It is nice to start to see arcades making a comeback in malls, but I wish they had some more actual arcade games and less of these prize games. At least a Street Fighter 2 or something in here. This mall has a theater as well, Picture Show Theaters. This was originally a Harkins theater, and it was closed by them and empty for nearly a decade before Picture Show moved in 2010. And here we can see a further away shot down into the food court. And more empty stores. I like that purple tile down on the bottom. The body shop down there at the end, I don't see a lot of those anymore. And here's another shot of one of those kind of really cool courtyard areas in front of one of the anchors with the really cool skylight architecture. Those are cool. See more vacant shops down there to the right, and mostly what appears to be mall walkers making laps around the mall. Again, this is not a good look for a mall on a Saturday afternoon. I noticed too where they started to do that thing in some of the empty stores where they stage products and stuff for some of the other stores that are still open, but I don't think that really helps. And this is also the biggest Wigs Amour store I've ever seen. The one at Superstition Springs Mall is much smaller. There's a Spencer's there to the right. I really miss their old neon signs. I'm not a big fan of this painted on the garage door sign that Spencer's has switched to. This store here caught my eye. This looked like it'd been empty for a while. I kind of like that ugly tile work there on the front of it. More fake Dippin' Dots. I'll take real Dippin' Dots any day over those. And this is what I was talking about, stores that start appearing in malls that are dying. Asian gifts? Really? Here we've got the jcpenney. And look at that tile work around the front of it. And then here in this empty store, they've staged some Empire flooring stuff in there, because I noticed a banner, JCPenney's was selling Empire flooring now. Penny's is really starting to encroach into a lot of Sears business. And then a GNC off there in the distance, which they'll be around even after the apocalypse. And an actual Things Remembered store. I feel like a lot of the Things Remembered stores that I've been seeing lately have been closed Things Remembered stores. Paradise Valley Express Train Depot. Now this was closed, but the kiddie train was still running around the mall, so I guess they're handling ticket sales somewhere else now. Here's more products staged in a display case in a closed store. Claire's is still open. Some other interesting stuff down this alcove. Let's take a closer look. Got an energy spa next to the psychic readings. This mall has a psychic readings place. I've never seen this inside of a mall, but this again can't be a good sign for Paradise Valley Mall. I was really tempted to go in there and poke around, but I didn't want to deal with whoever worked in there. The last stop on our video tour of Paradise Valley Mall is the Sears. Let's pop inside and take a look. The first thing that struck me was that ring of fluorescent lighting that runs around the store. That is not pleasing to the eye anymore. But just like a lot of the other Sears I've been into recently, very, very empty. Not a lot of customers, really no customers, and I don't see any employees either. Now this is the second floor of the Sears, and it was just as quiet up here. Sears is devoting a lot of floor real estate to their mattress sales now. Nobody looking at mattresses though. I am noticing this big summer blowout signage at a lot of Sears recently, though. That seems to be a company-wide initiative that's going on right now. I think this may have been the deadest part of Paradise Valley Mall. Looks like they used to sell hearing aids here. Alright, let's head back downstairs. If I had to bet on which anchor store of Paradise Valley Mall was going to close first, I would bet Sears. This Sears seems to be doing just as badly as a lot of the other Sears stores that I visited recently. I'm just really not a big fan of that big ring of fluorescent lighting running around the downstairs part of the store. I feel like if you were at Paradise Valley Mall in 1994 and you came into the Sears, it probably looked just like this. Let's head back out into the mall for one last look at the really cool ceilings and skylights in here. I hope you all enjoyed this video tour of Paradise Valley Mall. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And like I said, I'll definitely be visiting here again in 6 months and then maybe again in a year to see how things are going for Paradise Valley Mall. Love the ceilings in here. Want to see your name here? Head on over to patreon.com/Retail Archaeology to see details on how you can help support the channel. Thanks again for checking out my video tour of Paradise Valley Mall. If you like what you saw, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and also check out one of these other videos I've got here. And also don't forget to follow us at the social media links there because that's the best way to keep up with what's going on with the channel. And as always, thanks for watching.